the day the extreme rainstorm hit. I was driving my Oden truck, Little 8. Stepping on the gas like crazy, I wanted to run to the higher ground on the mountain. But halfway there, the engine flooded and stalled. Right at that moment, the casted Cheibrong time, Sudan Liburst. With static noise, signal connection, successful. Your food truck has connected to Mo's Mukbang Channel. ID 0823. Please provide food to survivors according to the live chat requests. In exchange for survival supplies, Novice Protection, period activated. The food truck will automatically switch to amphibious hover mode. The entire truck became like an inflatable raft, wobbling and floating on the water's surface. Before I even had time to celebrate, the windshield in front of me suddenly turned into a giant, transparent screen. A few lines of colorful text floated across it. Is this the new streamer? She looks a bit clueless. Streamer no, 0823. I heard the flood disaster outside is pretty severe. Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and start cooking. I want to see some Oden. Looking at these comments, I was completely dumbfounded. What is going on here? At this moment, top crowd viewers. 35 people. The system's voice echoed again. Streamer, Jiang Bingbing, please start your business ASAP. The food truck will lose its hover function and sink to the bottom of the water. I had no choice but to bite the bullet and rush into the kitchen. Fortunately, to prepare for my stall, I had fully stocked up radishes, konjac knots, fish balls, tofu pouches. Everything was sitting in the freezer. With trembling hands, I turned on the stove. The aroma of the broth slowly filled the narrow cabin. The live chat instantly blew up. Wow. It's a kombu and bonito broth. I can practically smell it. Streamer, someone is swimming over. Quick, welcome your customer. I was startled and quickly leaned out the window to look. A delivery guy was clinging to a piece of wood, floating on the surface. His face was deathly pale. His lips were purple, and he was already suffering from hypothermia. Grab the handle, quickly. I threw him a rope. Customer scanning, hunger level 90%, cold level 85%. Live chat mission issued. Reward, 1 barrel of high-power fuel. Looking at the guy's almost frozen face, making him smile, isn't that a bit too difficult? I turned around and fished a skewer from the boiling compartments. A radish fully soaked in broth. Then I added to bouncy fish balls. And finally, dropped in a tofu pouch. I poured a ladle of steaming hot, original broth over it, and handed the paper cup out the window. Eat it while it's hot. It's on the house. The delivery guy took the cup with trembling hands. He was stunned for a moment, seemingly unable to believe that, in this apocalyptic flood, he could still get a hot cup of Oden. Then, he took a sip of the soup. A warm current flowed down his throat and into his stomach. In that instant, I saw a light suddenly flash in his previously lifeless eyes. It took a big bite of the soft, flavorful radish. Tears mixed with rainwater streamed down his face. Then, the corners of his mouth lifted uncontrollably, revealing an incredibly sincere smile. So delicious. Mission accomplished. Reward has been sent to the trunk. With my first barrel of fuel secured, my heart settled down a bit. After the delivery guy finished his Oden, his body regained some feeling. He tried to take out his phone to pay, only to find his phone had long been ruined by the water. I waved my hand. No need to pay. Just tell me what the flood situation is like up ahead. The guy wiped the water off his face. The low-lying areas ahead are completely flooded. Many people are trapped on top of a bus. The current is too strong. The rescue teams can't get through at all. And this rain shows no sign of stopping. The water level is still rising. Suddenly, people in the live chat started spamming. Streamer. Go save them. I'll gift you a yacht. Yeah. I want to see the thrill of desperate survival. Are you guys crazy? Upstairs. That's way too dangereux. À that moment is chimed in. Side mission triggered. And sell 50 portions of Oden. Reward. Food truck defensive armor upgrade. I said goodbye to the delivery guy, adjusted my direction, and drove towards the direction he pointed. That bus, with only its roof exposed above the water, was packed with people. There were at least 20 or 30 of them. As soon as my truck approached, the aroma of the Oden instantly caught everyone's attention. A boat is coming. Is it the rescue team? Why is it a snack truck? I parked the truck about 2 meters away from them. I didn't dare to get too close, afraid of being capsized by the crowd. Oden, piping hot Oden. You can trade your belongings for it. The system ruled that I couldn't give it away for free. There must be a transaction for it to count towards my quota. We're about to die here. And you're still thinking about doing business? A middle-aged man in a suit roared angrily. He was completely soaked. But his arrogant, bossy attitude hadn't washed away. Exactly. You should be pulling us all up. A middle-aged lady with curly hair chimed in next to him. I glanced at my narrow cabin. It could hold 3 people at most, if I let them all get on. My truck would definitely sink. The truck is small, it can't hold people. It's only for selling food. Believe it or not, I'll file a complaint against you. The live chat erupted in mockery. It's the apocalypse, and they still want to complain. Is this lady sleepwalking? Streamer, don't back down. People like them deserve to starve. Don't give them any food. Right at that moment, a young mother, holding her child, squeezed to the front. Boss, I have some jewelry here. Can I trade it for some hot soup for my baby? Trembling, she took off her necklace and handed it over. High value item detected. After taking it, I served up a massive, overflowing bowl of Oden, and specially added to boiled eggs. The young mother took it, profusely thanking me. As the aroma drifted, everyone else's eyes turned green with envy. That man in the suit suddenly charged forward and violently snatched the bowl from the young mother's hands. I have money. I'll give you 10,000 bucks. Give it to me. The young mother was shoved away forcefully, and the child started wailing in terror. System, is there any punishment mechanism? Malicious, snatching, behavior detected. Streamer can spend 10 points to activate the high-pressure water gun function. Do it. A water gun nozzle suddenly extended from the truck's roof, aiming right at the man in the suit. A powerful jet of water blasted directly into his face. The man screamed in pain, and the bowl in his hand flew into the air. But, with my quick reflexes, I whipped out a net scoop and precisely caught the bowl of Oden in midair. A little broth spilled, but the meatballs were still there. The live chat exploded. Wow. So cool. That maneuver was 660. It takes a villain To deal with a villain, gifted the streamer one depth charge. That was so satisfying. I handed the bowl back to the young mother. Whoever tries to rob again, I'll blast them into the water to feed the fishes. Everyone obediently started digging around for their watches, rings, and phones to trade for food. That curly-haired lady stayed in the back, tucking her head in, wanting to curse, but too scared to. In the apocalypse, kill the bleeding hearts first. When dealing with this kind of bully, I prefer instant revenge on the spot. After finishing the business on the bus roof, mi point reached 500. The truck's outer shell automatically covered itself with a layer of silver-white metal armor. It looked much sturdier. The rain was still pouring, showing absolutely no sign of stopping. Just as I was about to find a taller rooftop to spend the night, the live chat suddenly got rowdy again. Streamer, there's a hot guy 50 meters to your front right. Wow. Even though he looks like a mess. Look at that body. Drôle. Save him. I want to see the hot guy eat a bowl. I rolled my eyes, speechless. On my viewers, a bunch of thirsty hounds. I drove over, following the direction of the chat, hanging onto a landscape tree that was almost submerged. Ouah, personne. I rolled down the window and looked closely. Oh, isn't this my arch-nemesis, the rich kid Jiu Yan? Back when I was running my street stall, he would always park his sports car right in front of my stand, complaining that my Oden smelled too strong, stinking up his leather seats. Who would have thought? Karma comes around when he saw my truck passing by. Jiu Yan's eyes lit up. Then he showed that same punchable expression. Why is it you country bumpkin? I took out a skewer of konjac knots and took a bite right in front of him. Ah, so delicious. Is someone's stomach hurting from hunger? Jiu Yan swallowed hard, and his stomach betrayed him with a loud rumble. I'll give you money, 1 million. Let me on the truck. He pulled a dripping wet black credit card from his pocket. I wagged my finger. Young Mastergu. In this day and age, money is just waste paper. If you want to get on, show some sincerity. I glanced at the live chat. Make him call you daddy. I kind of want to hear that too. Haha. Make him pawn that designer watch. That Dorsani swedge. Jiu Yan instinctively covered his wrist. This was my 18th birthday. If that's the case, then you can just guard your watch and freeze to death. Fine. Here, take it. Jiu Yan had a breakdown and violently threw it over. Recycled one designer watch. Scrambled into the truck on all fours. Collapsed on the floor, gasping heavily. Jiang Bingbing, what the hell is going on with this truck of yours? He finally caught his breath, looking warily at the completely dry interior of the cabin. I ignored him, and instead pointed to a large basket in the corner full of fresh bamboo skewers, along with unprocessed ingredients. If you want to eat and stay warm, you have to work. Do you even know who you're talking to? I can give you money, however much you want. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. I pointed outside the window to the city that had turned into a vast ocean. Young Mastergu, Rao even is outsludded. Your money is too wet to even burn as firewood. The live chat was full of mockery. This young master is still dreaming. Monet. Can't even buy you a skewer of beef tendon here. Streamer, make him thread the bamboo skewers. Seeing those slender hands thread beef tripe. That's going to be so cinematic. I scooped out a bowl of boiling hot Oden, which had bouncy fish balls, tofu bush, and that piece of radish boiled until almost transparent. The rich aroma permeated the truck. Jiu Yan's stomach let out another "Luroir." This is my condition for you. From now on, you're in charge of prepping all the ingredients. Thread every single bamboo skewer neatly. If you dare slack off or break a single one, you can roll back to that tree. Jiu Yan's face turned red, then green. In his elite circles, when had he ever suffered such humiliation? He looked outside, then looked at the fish balls boiling in the pot. Finally, this incredibly arrogant young master nodded in defeat. The live chat erupted in cheers. Ah, rich kids. Transformation show. Well done, streamer. Taming a wild horse vibes. Jiu Yan took the bowl and scarfed it down like a starving wolf, watching him eat until oil smeared all over his mouth. A strange sense of satisfaction suddenly rose in my heart. This apocalypse doesn't seem so bad after all, right? The rain poured all night. The next morning, the water had already reached the second floor. I parked the truck by an office building sign. Jiu Yan was curled up in the corner, sleeping like a log. Just as I brought the broth to a boil, a noisy tapping sound came over. Is anyone there? Is anyone inside? It came from a shattered window of the office building. Huddled inside the window were 7 or 8 men and women in business attire. They looked like corporate slaves who had been working overtime. The one leading them was a middle-aged man. Little girl, quick, get us some food. We're starving to death. As usual, I shouted, barter only. No cash, accepted. Little girl, you are profiteering from a national disaster. Believe it or not, I'll call the cops. Then call them. Let's see if the cops will arrive in a boat or a submarine. The middle-aged man was speechless. Behind him, a young girl timidly brought out a power bank. Can I use this fully charged power bank to trade for a skewer of fish balls? I nodded, yes, seeing someone take the lead. Eoter quickly started bringing out their own ting-po, notebook, and even a mouse and keyboard. The middle-aged man panicked. Besides money and bank cards, he had nothing else on him. His eyes darted around, and he suddenly pointed at the young girl, Zhao Li. That power bank of yours is company property. So whatever it trades for must be shared with everyone. The girl named Zhao Li was stunned. Manager, this is my personal one. What do you mean yours or mine? This is a special crisis. You have to obey the collective arrangement. He aggressively snatched the fish balls from Zhao Li's hands and stuffed them directly into his mouth. Zhao Li was on the verge of crying out of desperation, but didn't dare to fight back. The live chat exploded instantly. What kind of trash boss is this? Streamer, don't let him get away with it. Take him down. People like him just beg to be punished. Looking at the man's greedy face, I felt disgusted. Do you have any item that forces people to tell the truth? Yes. Price, 50 points. I took out a skewer of beef meatballs and brushed a layer of bright red chili sauce on it. You're the manager, right? Since you're the leader, I'll gift you this special beef meatball. Consider it a reward for your excellent management. Glad you know Your place. Later, when the water recedes, I'll find a job for you. Why did you steal Zhao Li's stuff? He chuckled slyly. His mouth opened uncontrollably, because I'm the boss. These idiots are used to being exploited by me, anyway. Now, they're the perfect blood bags, for me. Wait till later. I even plan to push Zhao Li out, to test how deep the water is. Interns are worthless anyway. Zhao Li looked in disbelief at the manager, who usually acted so righteous. The other co-workers also clenched their fists. The man seemed unaware of what he had just said, and continued spilling the beans and Zhaozhong from finance. That messed up account last time. I pinned the blame entirely on him. Ah? What an idiot for ignoring it, you bastard. Finally, someone couldn't hold back anymore. Amelkuoki charged forward and threw a punch. Immediately after, everyone pounced on him. The middle-aged man's screams sounded exceptionally melodic. Amidst the rain, Jiyu Yan had woken up at some point, leaning against the window watching the show. TSK, how miserable. Hey, do you have any more of that chili sauce? Give me a little. I want to feed it to my dad. I couldn't help but roast him in my head. What kind of filial son is this? Bidding farewell to that group of corporate slaves, I continued, driving to higher ground. The rain had lessened a little, but the wind was stronger. Strange things began to appear on the water's surface. Nutrash, but modified jet skis. 3 jet skis were flanking me. Sitting on them were fierce-looking men, holding harpoons and iron pipes. Oh ho! Nice truck. It can even float. Boys, looks like we've got a feast tonight. Jiyu Yan's face turned pale, and he nervously grabbed a radish carving knife. I heard these guys specifically target and rob lone survivors. They are ruthless. What do we do? We don't have weapons. I calmly glanced at the live chat. Here, it comes. The action scene is here. Streamer, run. These guys look like bad news. Run. Just ram right into them. Hostile targets detected. Emergency mission triggered. Repel the raiders. Reward, torrential pear blossom launcher. This reward sounds utterly ridiculous. Hold on tight. I slammed on the gas and charged directly towards those 3 jet skis. The leading man didn't expect me to fight back. He froze for a second. You have a death wish. Boy. J'ai harpoon. Was viciously stabbed into my truck's window. Is that all? I pressed a red button on the center console. Taste my torrential pear blossom skewers. Countless sharp bamboo skewers shot out like a machine gun. Whoosh, whoosh, ah, whoosh, my butt. What the hell are these things? Although bamboo skewers aren't lethal, getting pierced in the flesh hurts like crazy. The 3 jet skis were instantly thrown into chaos, crashing into each other. The leader Clud Wishuano studied like a hedgehog and glared at me with resentment. You just wait. He turned his jet ski around to flee. Trying to run. No way. Jiyu Yan suddenly yelled, grabbed a pot of boiling hot oil, and splashed it out through the crack in the window. The man screamed in agony from the burns. His jet ski lost control and smashed into a nearby utility pole with a loud boom. Flames shot up into the sky. I looked at Jiyu Yan in surprise. This rich kid, when he gets ruthless, he actually has some skills. Yan proudly rubbed his nose. What are you looking at? I used to be the javelin champion in high school. The live chat was cheering wildly. Young Master Jiyu is awesome. I'm a fan now. That teamwork was perfect. Is this the legendary husband and wife tag team? My face turned red. Stop spouting nonsense. Who's husband and wife with him? It's just camaraderie. However, the relationship between Jiu, Yan and me did improve at least quite a bit. He stopped calling me country bumpkin and switched to violent girl. We traveled through the night and finally reached the highest point in the city, the sports stadium. This place had become a massive temporary refuge. The bleachers were densely packed with people. The water had already submerged the court below, leaving only the upper bleachers exposed. As soon as my food truck appeared, it immediately caused a sensation. After all, when everyone was gnawing on moldy bread, a steaming food truck radiating mouth-watering aroma was practically a miracle. After settling down at the stadium, my business was ridiculously good. Jiu Yan threaded skewers every day until his hands nearly broke. He kept complaining and asking for a raise, but the good days didn't last long. The temperature plummeted. What was originally just a massive flood turned straight into an ice age. The water surface froze into a thick layer of ice. The stadium was as cold as a freezer. Many people, lacking winter clothing, froze to death in their sleep. Although my food truck had a climate control system, it couldn't handle so many people huddling around it for warmth. How did the weather change so suddenly? The viewers in the live chat also started getting anxious. This cold wave is brutal. You have to think of something. Can you make some ginger soup? Or maybe some mutton soup? The system shop has portable heaters. Exchange for them quick. I checked my points. Although I had earned a lot these past few days. Doit. The entire stadium. It was like a drop in the bucket. Miss, please help. The coal in the storage room is all burned up. If this continues, everyone is going to freeze to death. I looked at those elders huddled together, shivering. And the children, my heart aching for them. System. Is there any way to provide large-scale heating? Insufficient balance. Option B. Activate hotpot. Feast mode. Requires collecting special ingredients. Mutant king chili. Flame bullfrog. Magma potato. Once collected, it can trigger an area-wide heatwave buff. Hotpot. That's actually a good idea. But where am I supposed to find these special ingredients? Detected high-energy heat signature at the botanical garden. 3 kilometers away. Suspected to be the mutant king chili. 3 kilometers. On this frozen water surface, those 3 kilometers were an insurmountable chasm. I'll go. Jiu Yan suddenly spoke up. With your small frame, you'll freeze into an ice sculpture the moment you step outside. Don't underestimate me. I don't want to just sit here waiting to die. And besides, I really want to eat hot pot. That last sentence is the real point, isn't it? For the sake of this hot pot, I decided to risk it all. I switched the food truck into icebreaker mode. And taking Jiu Yan and a few brave volunteers, drove towards the botanical garden. The outside world was completely white. Terrifyingly silent. Deep in the botanical garden, there was a bizarre red glow. We walked closer and saw a massive chili plant towering in the ice and snow. Even its leaves were radiating faint waves of heat. Holding a special alloy machete, I took a deep breath and jumped out of the truck, using all my strength. I swung hard at the stem connection. A burst of scorching red light erupted, blinding my eyes. I tightly hugged the chili, and scrambled back into the food truck. The others quickly reacted and drove back to the stadium. I immediately chopped up the king chili and tossed it into the massive soup pot. Instantly, a domineering wave of heat shot into the air. The temperature in the entire stadium began to rise. I threw the mutton, beef, and cabbage all into the pot. Dinner is served. Hot pot feast. Everyone gathered around the giant pot, sweating profusely as they ate, with tears in their eyes. This was probably the most heartwarming meal since the apocalypse began. Jiyu Yan panted from the heat while stuffing beef into his mouth. Amazing. So amazing. This is what it feels like to be alive. After eating and drinking to our fill, the two of us returned to the food truck to rest. The live chat on the screen was still scrolling sparsely. Going to sleep already. Boring. Streamer, do something fun. The guy upstairs. Have some humanity. Even the donkeys on the production team need a break. Exactly. That hot pot earlier made me so hungry watching it. I just ordered delivery. So delicious. I let out a yawn. Just about to turn off the lights and take a nap. A sharp crack sounded exceptionally piercing in the spacious, quiet stadium. Before I could even react, the food truck beneath me violently jolted. An earthquake. Jiyu Yan suddenly sat straight up, looking at me in horror. Earthquake, my foot. The ice is cracking. Massive chunks of hail began smashing down. Ah! Help! The building is collapsing. The crowd instantly panicked. Cries and screams echoed everywhere. I looked out through the truck window. The originally hard and thick ice layer had a massive gap blown open artificially. Murky, freezing black water was violently surging in. Warning. Large-scale structural collapse risk detected. Food truck submarine mode is cooling down. Advise immediate evacuation to higher ground. But the stadium is already the highest point in this area. Guyan, go smash the lock on that emergency exit door. Uri. I pointed at an iron door at the very top of the bleachers that led to the maintenance tunnel outside. There might still be a chance of survival. Jiyu Yan didn't hesitate. Grabbed the kitchen cleaver we used to cut meat earlier and rushed over. I started the food truck, trying to use its body to block the cold arrows and Molotov cocktails shooting in from the gap. To buy time for the survivors. Don't panic. Elderly and children go first. I screamed into the megaphone at the top of my lungs. But fear had already consumed their reason. The crowd ran around like headless flies. Some people even tried to climb onto the roof of my truck. The vehicle shook violently, pushing the food truck towards the edge of the bleachers. Below was pitch black, freezing. Bottomless water. Parjiangbingdozen. Abandon the truck. Quick. Jiyu Yan shouted from above. But this truck is my lifeline. It's also the lifeline for these people. If the truck is gone, we'll all freeze to death out there. System, can you force start? Over mode. Force start will consume all remaining fuel. I don't care anymore. Let's gamble. I yanked the steering wheel hard, planning to use the slope of the bleachers to launch directly towards the blown open gap and knock over the men attacking us. Right at that moment, the wheels suddenly slipped. The food truck lost control and slid sideways into the bleacher guardrail. Clon. The guardrail couldn't withstand the impact of several tons. It snapped like paper. The entire truck hung precariously at a 45-degree angle in midair, swaying and about to fall. The world spun around me. I didn't even have time to scream before I plunged with the food truck, crashing heavily onto the ice. The immense impact made my vision go black. My consciousness began to blur. My hands and feet lost all sensation, just as I was about to close my eyes. The smart bracelet on my wrist suddenly glowed with an eerie red light. Immediately after, the live chat that I had almost forgotten existed started scrolling crazily. Warning. Streamer's HP is below 5%. She's gonna die so soon. The streamers these days are so weak. Stop talking nonsense. Quick, save her. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in a high-tech silver capsule. Congratulations, Bing Bing. You have successfully passed the Mars Fatal Vanguard Pressure Test Simulation. A man in a white lab coat walked over, smiling at him. My mind was buzzing. Are you saying it was all fake? Yes, this is a fully immersive sensory virtual reality system designed to test human survival capabilities in extreme environments and psychological endurance. Your performance in the simulation was outstanding, especially your organizational and adaptability skills. You're hired. I listened blankly, but my heart felt incredibly empty. Fake. Then what about Jiu Yan? I suddenly stood up, ignoring the medical staff's protests, and bolted out. I pushed open the door next to mine. That familiar, annoying jerk was sitting on the bed, holding a cup of nutrient fluid, with a look of absolute disgust. What is this garbage? It doesn't even taste as good as that girl's Oden. Hearing the door open, he turned his head. Ureime. Jiu Yan froze for a moment, and then showed that familiar, punchable smile. Oh? Violent girl, you're awake too. Did you cry earlier? I couldn't hold it back any longer. I ran over and hugged him tightly. You bastard. You scared me to death. All right. I'm perfectly fine, aren't I? Excuse me. Although you both passed, there's a small problem. Because you used prohibited maneuvers in the simulation, it caused the server to overload and burn out. The repair cost will roughly be deducted from your future salaries. Jiu Yan and I exchanged a glance. Deduct how much? Probably enough to last until you retire. Both of us groaned at the same time. It seems whether in the apocalypse or reality, the fate of corporate slaves is always the same. But as long as we're alive, even if it means selling Oden on Mars, I'll accept it. After all, I have the best skewer threader with me, don't I?